You've probably felt it more than once, and that quiet wish for a life where the pace stops crushing you every single day. And I'm telling you, after 4 years here near Dumaguete, the pace in the Philippines really is heaven. But before I get into all of it, it would really mean a lot if you'd subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It genuinely helps us out over here. If that quiet wish sounds like you, then friend, you are in exactly the right place today. So pour yourself a coffee, and let me just paint you my morning. I wake up slow now. No alarm. The first thing I hear is the rattle of a colorful jeepney coming down the lane, that cheerful clatter of it, and then the smell of tropical fruit drifting up from the market a couple streets over. Mango, banana, something sweet I still can't always name. I carry my coffee out to the porch. I set the cup on the wooden railing, steam curling up in the early light, and I watch the sea breeze move through the palms. Nobody is rushing me anywhere. Not a soul. A neighbor walks by, sees me, and actually stops to talk. No hurry in it, just a good long hello and a smile that means it. Now let me tell you what that morning used to look like. Back in the States, my day started with an alarm at 6, in the dark, most of the year. You know that sound. You know that reach across the nightstand to shut it up before it's even done buzzing. Then the commute, the traffic that just sat there, the long gray winters where the sky hangs low and flat for months, and the salt trucks rumble past your window. And underneath all of it, this feeling I carried for years without ever quite naming it, that time was slipping past me, always slipping, like I was running to catch a train that had already left the station. Here, the train waits. Or better yet, there is no train. There's just the day, and it's yours. Now, is it really that hard to slow down? Honestly, no. But not for the reason you'd think. Because here's the funny part, and this is the thing nobody warned me about. That first year, my body simply didn't know what to do with all that stillness. I'd sit on the porch with my coffee and catch myself feeling almost guilty, restless, like I'd forgotten to do something important. My hands wanted a task. My mind kept reaching for the next thing, and the next thing, and there just wasn't one. 40-odd years of the rush had wound me up tight, and you don't unwind that in a weekend. Slowing down, it turns out, was harder than the flight over. That surprised me more than anything. So here's the secret nobody tells you before you make this move. The hard part isn't learning to slow down. Your body figures that out given a little time. The hard part is untangling the few little practical questions that come first. The ones that stand between you and that slow coffee on the porch. And I know exactly which questions are sitting on your mind right now because they sat on mine. How does the SRRV retirement visa actually work with that required deposit everyone talks about? Will a modest pension really stretch out here? And where on earth do you even begin to find your own little village by the sea? From back home, all of that sits in a kind of fog. It looks bigger and scarier than it ever turns out to be, and that fog is the exact reason I sat down and put everything I've learned over these 4 years into one place, a guide I call OnewayGuide. It's the honest, plain language walkthrough I wish somebody had handed me on day one. The SRRV retirement visa, step by step, how to budget in pesos without guessing, how to find your own spot by the water, plus the filing help for those retiree forms so the paperwork never trips you up. No hard sell here, folks. It's simply the map I didn't have. If you'd like it, there's a link down in the description. Because here's my promise to you. Once those first few questions are handled, and they're far more handleable than they look, the slow life just opens up. It really does. All that stillness that unsettled me at first, it turns into the best part of the whole day. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how, nice and calm, one easy piece at a time, so you can picture it clearly for yourself. Let me give you a taste of what I mean about the money side. When my Social Security check lands and turns into pesos, and I go pay my rent, settle the power bill, make my little runs to the market for fish and fruit, month after month I notice the same quiet thing. A modest American income doesn't just scrape by out here. It buys a genuinely comfortable life by the sea with room to breathe. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and I want to lay that out for you properly in a minute, plain numbers and all. Because none of this clicked for me all on my own. I had help. And I'll tell you, the best thing that happened to me in those early weeks was a neighbor named Walter. Walter's a fellow American. Been here 10 years, and he took one look at me, restless on my porch, still half wired from the old life, and he decided to sit me down over a cup of coffee. He had one line for me that morning, just one, a little thing about doing a little homework up front and getting peace of mind for years, and that one line made every mountain I'd been dreading suddenly look a whole lot smaller. The very first mountain he was about to shrink down to nothing was the SRRV retirement visa, with that required deposit that had looked, from all the way back in the States, like the biggest wall of them all. Do a little homework up front, get peace of mind for years. That's the exact thing Walter told me right here on my porch. And the very first thing he pointed his finger at was the SRRV retirement visa with its required deposit, the one thing that had looked like a mountain to me from back in the States. And I understand that feeling completely. If the word visa makes your shoulders tense up, let them drop right now, because I promise you it is far gentler than it looks from home. From my kitchen table in the middle of a long gray winter, the whole business felt enormous. Forms in a language I didn't speak, a deposit I had to set aside, a dozen little rules I was sure I'd get wrong somehow. But here's what Walter, my neighbor, the American who'd already been here 10 years, helped me see over a cup of coffee. You don't swallow a mountain in one bite. You break it into small pieces. The required deposit, you set it aside, you park it in the bank, and it just sits there quietly doing its job. The paperwork, you handle it one page at a time, one relaxed afternoon at a time, no rush at all, and by the time I'd laid it all out clean on the table in front of me, it simply wasn't a mountain anymore. It was one small assignment. That was the whole of it. Now, the part that used to keep me up at night was the renewals. I pictured long lines, stern faces, some official behind a desk shaking his head at me. And you know what actually happens? The last time I went to renew, I sat down, took care of what I needed to take care of, and I was finished before my drink went cold. That's the honest truth of it. The renewals run smooth over a cup of coffee. No drama, no mountain, just a quiet little errand I hardly even think about anymore. So that's the first assignment, handled. Now let me turn to the second one, the one I know is really sitting on your mind, the money. Every single month I watch my Social Security check land, and out here it lands in pesos. Can a regular Social Security check really carry a good life on the other side of the world? Stay with me, because the answer honestly surprised me too. Let me just lay it out plain, the way I'd lay it out on this table between